Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the playoff finals of the playoff winner finals of the Iberian League, where we're going to pitch Vodafone Giants against Los Hombres de Paco. As always, my name is Nelson AC Silva. Joining me is Max Formavania to bring you all the action in and out of the Rocket League pitches. Los Hombres de Paco just came from a very peculiar matchup. Vodafone Giants have been hungry waiting for it.
I mean, absolutely. Both of these teams actually did have dominating performances in pretty much every facet of the game in order to get to this winner's final throughout our semifinals that we saw before. 2-3-0 victories, 2-3-0s that never really even felt close for their opposition. So it's kind of one of those what happens when an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object with the way how each of these teams are playing. It's definitely going to be an explosive winner's final. And again, I keep emphasizing this part. I think this is a preview of what our grand final is going to be tomorrow.
Yes, I do agree with that statement. I mean, both Vodafone Giants and Los Angeles Black seem pretty dominant against their respective opponents. Then again, both of the teams were slightly crippled when it came to their rosters.
Mhm.
Both EC4 and Super Mode, they lacked key players that would otherwise make their specific matches a little bit more competitive. But hey, Mendo coach, he went above and beyond what was expected of him.
Yeah.
And now we have Vodafone Giants versus Los Angeles de Paco. Obviously, there's going to be a losers bracket gauntlet to go through where we already have Super Mode versus EC4 scheduled to go up against each other. But right now, the head-to-head stats, this is Giants versus Los Angeles de Paco.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these have been probably the two fastest teams. They were kind of my number one and number two pick at the start of the season. So I'm not too surprised to see them here right now. Their stats very, very similar across the board. Los Hombres de Paco, though, they have been a little bit more reckless, I feel, at times. You can see that in both their shots taken and their saves made. They were one of the teams that, they could put a lot of pressure on the attack. Now, granted, they did sort of change their look with the inclusion of by Mateos as opposed to Kier Monster. We saw a bit
Yeah.
more control from them, but I think that is a good thing moving forward as we take a look at our head-to-head in this one. It's actually going to be Zemue as well as Demenza, and very, very similar players. The big key difference, however, are the assists coming from Zemue.
Absolutely. I mean, in this case, I feel like Zamue seems to be a little bit more oriented towards the team play. And this is something we've already covered extensively, the team play behind Vodafone Giants and how they work in synergy with each other. When it comes to Los Angeles de Paco, we had a glimpse of what they can do. Like you said, they have a different face when they're playing with By Mateos as opposed to Kier Monster. And By Mateos has a lot more technicality to his game style, has a lot more brains behind his power. So they give a different air over to Los Hombres de Paco. We just heard what by Mateo said. They were confident. They have to come in with a winner's confidence up into this matchup, or else they'll just they've already lost before they even touched the wheels on the pitch.
And the thing that I liked most about what he said was that, they're not treating this like a comfort game, like a cushion game. No, this is a must-win game for them
Hmm.
because they understand every advantage that they can get over the Giants is one that they can use moving forward, especially mentally. If they can get that winner's mindset right now, treat every game like it's the last, well, then by all means, I think they can excel. Now, I'm a little bit worried. Maybe they're putting too much pressure on themselves for a winner's final, but then again, there's a reason why I'm not actually playing the game at this level. I don't have
True.
that same competitive edge, so I'm excited
Same.
to see how they put it to use.
And both teams are ready to go into the game. We have a word from Prozis before we head into the pitch to see the grand winners final between Los Hombres de Paco and Giants Gaming or Vodafone Giants Gaming. So don't go anywhere. 5 seconds is all we ask from you. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the teams are ready to go into the pitch. On the blue, we have Vodafone Giants Gaming. On the orange, it's Los Hombres de Paco. The kickoff is live, and right off the bat, it's Vodafone Giants who have control of the ball and start off with an offensive play.
Yeah, they're starting off with that pressure, but it's not going to turn into a goal. This time, though, different from EC4, they actually kept Stake back just in case, and that's why they're able to keep the sustained offensive pressure right away. Los Hombres de Paco, I think this pace is going out a lot different than their last match right now, and they might take a little bit to adjust. So I do think game one is probably definitely going to go Giants' way. It's not going to be till games 2 and 3, perhaps, that we see more from. coming out of Los Hombres de PACO. Then again, if Mateos can make something happen here, the demo from Nachito but Steak has that height, something that this Giants team has always seemed to have over their opponents, and with that, they turn it into another attack.
Exactly, and this is something that we did not see from EC4. They're putting up a lot of pressure from Vodafone Giants. They're not giving him enough room to breathe. They're challenging the airborne strikes. And Mateos goes in, opens up the scoreboard against Vodafone Giants.
Yeah, watch this right here. It was a good touch from Demensa, a good follow from Nachito. I mean, Nachito would have been looking for the goal right there, but as soon as he recognized he was going to be challenged, keeping the ball in that box, in that pressure zone was his goal, and the third man, always the deadliest man, is able to push it through. So a great opener right there from Los Hombres de PACO.
And a great opening that could actually lead into a momentum play from Los Hombres de PACO if they manage to keep up their tempo. Vodafone Giants want to tighten up their offense, want to make sure that they give no room to breathe over to Los Hombres de PACO, but it is kind of hard to get it done. I mean, they seem to be neck and neck when it comes to the space that they're allowing their opponents to have.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case right now, although we are seeing a much longer attack coming from the Giants. Talk's actually going to go for a waterfall setup to himself. That will open the door for Samuel. Beats out the defender, pre-jumped that one a little bit too high, and we're looking at a tie game.
And a tie game from a phenomenal play coming in from Vodafone Giants. It was kind of a waterfall setup. Great fast rotation from the blue team that did not really allow Los Hombres de PACO to get a defense rolling in fast enough. Now, ball is back on Vodafone Giants. They need a boom and clear from Los Hombres de PACO to actually get it done. Crossbar is there to save the day once again, and Los Hombres de PACO have control of the ball yet again.
Yes, Steak was recognizing that the defense would have been in position to make that save right there, so he was actually trying to pinch it just underneath that crossbar. Then window was a bit too small. As a great individual play coming from Demensa. That last touch does get him off it, but the next man is there. It's Nachito. Shot on target. Talk's going for the clear, but not positioned well enough to beat out Mateos. Demo coming through. It's against Steak, but it's not going to be enough to keep the attack going.
No, it's not. Nachito was out of boost. He had to go. For defensive rotation in order to get some boost going, in order for them to keep up on the attack. And didn't have enough people on the box to actually get a goal going. Now, Vodafone Giants, with every demo, their boost is reset, and they need to reclaim some territory if they want to keep the ball. If they want to keep up the defense. If they want to get a boom and clear. Great clear by Steak. I didn't mention it, as Vodafone Giants struggle to actually maintain the ball on the side of Los Hombres de PACO. Completely different game from EC4.
Yeah, it is a completely different game from Super Mode as well. Each of these teams definitely have adjusted to this faster pace very quickly. Zamua as well, almost able to go the distance. However, the second man Steak will be there. The faster team gets the goal. 2 versus 1 is now the scoreline as well. Giants up in this.
Giants up in 2 minutes left. Low scoreline as it stands right now, but there's always room for that to change. Still best of 5 series for the winners final.
Ooh, good pass right there to Nachito. Unfortunately, he's unable to touch it, and straight away you can see the Giants there to punish every little mistake. You're going to see that Talks as well. A bit of an awkward miss. No one bid on that if it was a fake, so I'm going to call it a miss. Whether or not it's a fake in my eyes is just determined about whether or not the defense actually bites on it. I think that's a safe way to go with it, although I do believe that was intended to be a fake. That said, Samuel's going to try to pass it to Talk so he can throw it back down to Steak. This could be a shot over the middle if it's put a little closer to the middle of the pitch itself. No shot able to come through right there. What I'm noticing for both these teams, though, is they're always willing to challenge with each other. Very rarely do you see a touch that actually isn't a 50-50. Great
Demensa!
And Demensa will get the goal.
Great pickup here from Los Hombres de PACO. Actually, a very good setup by Mateos, who actually not only stole the ball away from Talks, but bumped Zamua away from the defense and just allowed a clear, clean shot from Demensa. Los Hombres de PACO, they're here to play and they're here to win. Like you said, they're treating every game like it was their last one, and they're making sure that that holds true.
Yeah, absolutely they are, and they're in position to perhaps take game number 1. With the pace of this game, you have to feel like the next goal might be the one who takes it. The big difference is, for a lot of the goals coming from Los Hombres de Paco, it kind of feels set up. It feels like an extension of a long play, but the goals coming from the Giants have been quick and like almost out of nowhere at times. At the moment, so the Giants actually are the ones with kind of this sustained attack right now. Ball's in a dangerous spot. Zamue keeps it in the air. Stick, can he put it down?
Ooh.
Yes, he can. 3-2 in favor of the Giants.
3-2 in favor of the Giants with 49 seconds left on the clock. Zamue had a good backboard setup and stake through the center field. Seems to be the name of the game here from Vodafone Giants. If it works, why would you change it? Just center field the ball, have someone come rolling in and get that last big shot, and disabling every type of defense available from Los Hombres de Paco. But then again, 3-2 is a very fragile lead for Vodafone Giants, and one that they have to work in order to hold on to it.
Yeah,
Or
they
extend
are
it.
going. I mean, either way, 30 seconds remaining. Every play, every touch right now is super critical in this one. Another
Wow.
opportunity right now. Stake can't redirect it the way how he likes it, but the defense is out of position. Talks too slow to follow
Zamue!
through, and somehow Nachito is able to stop yet another attempt on the goal. With that, this orange side is staying alive. Zamue misses. Talks has a chance perhaps off of the corner. No, no one is there.
They went for the volleyball setup that we were talking about on the game against EC4. They couldn't quite make it. They managed to stall the ball in the box. That was a huge corner shot with 1 second left. Can Los Hombres de Paco get into overtime? No, by Mateos mistouches it and isn't able to dribble it airborne.
He was going to go for the flip reset. You saw he was trying to get himself underneath the ball right there, but it was a little bit too slow, and he wound up spiking it straight down. Definitely not the touch he was looking for. As it stands, however, Los Hombres de Paco really did a great job taking it to the Vodafone Giants. They were
Thomas.
challenging everything. Rarely did we see a touch that did not have a car right there each and every time. But
Yeah,
the Giants, they were able to push through. They got a couple of those clutch goals seemingly out of nowhere. When they saw that opening, I think they were a bit faster on the strike. We saw one of their infamous counterattack goals as well come through, forcing a 2v1 situation that they always seem to get in big matches. In the Giants, they roll on through game number 1.
they're rolling through, but it wasn't such a nice clean breeze that we were expecting to see from Vodafone Giants. I mean, we came into the playoffs expecting to see Vodafone Giants above and beyond everybody else on the competition. But what we just witnessed from Los Hombres de Paco is a team that is able to step up their game and maybe even steal a game from Vodafone Giants, if not the whole series, if it has
Yeah.
to come to that.
And again, we definitely saw the effect of by Mateos, I feel like, in this game for sure. He always seemed to have that calming effect on this team. He makes them play more with their brain, I suppose, than their heart at
Yeah,
times. And it was a very controlled game coming from Los Hombres de Paco. They challenged when they were supposed to, they fell back when they were supposed to. Only really one instance where I feel like they pushed a little bit too far forward and got punished for it. Unfortunately for them, that one big mistake right there was that one goal difference at the end of the day. So still a very competitive matchup. I feel like Los Hombres de Paco have the tools required to pull off the upset victory. It's just whether or not they're able to use them.
exactly. Whether or not they succumb to the pressure as well, because mental plays a big role. We've been talking about throughout the whole series. Oh no, we were just talking about the mental, and an own goal comes through from the Cheeto. Bad touch coming in at the box, not really able to clear out the ball in the correct direction. The Cheeto scores an own goal and grants the Vodafone Giants a 1-0 lead just 15 seconds in.
I mean, I struggled to call that one an own goal. Yes, Nachito touched it, but he was trying to make a crazy save right there, trying to
Yeah.
bounce it off of that top crossbar. And that's a tough one to hit any time of the week. So I'm not going to blame him for that. Now, though, here comes Los Hombres a bit off of the counterattack straight out of that kickoff by Mateos. Gets the good touch to Mensa. Can he spike it down? Yes, we can. And we are tied just like that.
Well, I mean, again, mental plays a big role in these matchups, and right now, Los Hombres de Paco don't seem to let themselves be afflicted by that mishap in the first few seconds, nor their loss in the first game. All credit where credit is due. Los Hombres de Paco are putting the sweat in the brow of Vodafone Giants if they want to take this series and move on to the grand final.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think the Giants are the type of team that kind of relishes in this challenge. And I still do expect them to rise to it, but they're going to have to do so pretty much right now because Demensa has a shot. Zamue able to get their first talks. A bit of a slow dribble down, flicks it up. A touch by Mateos does kind of open the door for someone to get a big bang. It winds up being Nachito. Talks catching it, dropping it back to Zamue. Doesn't put a shot on target. I think there are too many defenders in the box.
A little bit too many defenders in the box, and also Tox didn't quite get the angle he would want to get on that ball. Steak with a dangerous defense. Nachito's there to pick it up. Steak gets a demo on Nachito. Awkward angle, but enough to get the ball safely in favor of Vodafone Giants for a counterattack.
Yeah, as we can see right now, actually, these 50s is actually slowing the pace of the game down a fair bit. These challenges are so good that they're just killing the ball time and time again right now. And it's making for what seems to be a slower paced game, but it's actually a more aggressive paced game as well, just because how much these teams are trying to disrupt their others. By Mateos, that could have been a fantastic setup, but somehow Steak got underneath it and put it at an odd angle, and that's what I mean. Even though it was slow, it's these touches that are just so hard to react to at a moment's notice.
Exactly. The smallest touches are making all of the difference in this matchup. And this is just a testament of the level of gameplay that we're witnessing between Los Hombres de PACO and Vodafone Giants. Big demo off the back of it. Gives a little bit of room to breathe on the counter offense for Vodafone Giants if they want to go for a big play right now. And the ball is going fast towards the side of Los Hombres de PACO. Tox is airborne, center fielded off the backboard. Steak is in a good position, stops the ball, gets it grounded, but Nachito's there to claim it.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to speed up the pace of this game, get it in air. And how does that pinch go in? Okay, then. Well, that's going to be a goal going over to the Giants. Watch this again. It wasn't even really a pinch. It was just a beautiful touch from Tox. My goodness.
It was, at the end of the day, that was mostly a defense from Tox, because if he wasn't there for the touch, that ball would have gone in and scored the goal for Los Hombres de PACO. They were just not expecting that touch to be so clean from Tox. Nobody there to contest that ball means that Vodafone Giants managed to pick up a lead 2-1 against Los Hombres de PACO. That has to be a heartbreaker.
I mean, but it's a reoccurring thing for the Giants. It's something that I've been saying all season long. They're going to go at you straight down the middle if you leave it open. No. And that's a big miss. That's a big miss right now.
It was.
Los Hombres de PACO is trying to race back on defense. Is it going to be enough? Demensa wins a big 2v150, but Zamue is going to throw it right back towards the goal again. Open down the middle, nearly turns into another mistake. Still trying to push down the middle. You can never leave the middle of the pitch open against the Giants. I think that is just a hard rule of Rocket League.
Exactly. The Vodafone Giants, they're lethal with that center pitch open, and by Mateos missing that ball caused a lot of trouble here for Los Hombres de PACO that they're still feeling right now. I mean, Vodafone Giants took control of that ball, and right now they're running with it. Los Hombres de PACO find an opening. They try to go for the counter play, and Cheeto's out of boost to maintain tempo on this play, though.
Yeah, and they're going to turn it right back around. Here comes Steak through the corner. Or is he going to? Demensa actually takes it away, but he instead hand delivers it to Zamue. Mateos now going to try to flick it over to the defense. One defender bit, but not the second one. Steak throwing it back up. Pass up to Zamue. Shots on target. Mateos is there. Can this turn into a counterattack? Demensa was cheating up the pitch.
Oh, it's a volleyball play.
Backboard set up, but no, Nachito's not going to be there to take the shot.
I saw that. They were trying to go for the play that the Vodafone Giants did against EC4, stalling the ball in the center of the field, but Vodafone Giants knew better than that. They were already expecting that play to happen. They immediately cut it off when they had to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So smart defense coming from Los Hombres de PACO, but unfortunately for them, they need more than that. They need that goal. Demensa is going to try and set it up for them. However, Steak, another great defensive touch, and that's something that the Giants have been doing well this entire series.
What a shot!
But a dunk right there for Tox to make it 3-1, and that could be out of Los Hombres de PACO's reach.
That was a demonic blow from Tox. 167 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful little dunk right there. And now Mateos, though, is going to try and get one right back. Tox is able to make a save, unable to clear completely through Zamue. Actually doesn't get possession of the ball like he's looking for. It forces an awkward double commit coming from this Giants side. There are weaknesses in the Giants, but the thing is they always recover from their weaknesses so quickly that you have to be on the ball to stop them, quite literally, as if you're not, Steak's going to get another goal.
Yep. And right now, I mean, 17 seconds left. Vodafone Giants are running the momentum. Los Hombres de PACO aren't really getting that mental reset. They're not feeling this game at all. And so they're just allowing Vodafone Giants to run with their tempo, to run with their momentum. And they're just blowing up their lead against Los Hombres de PACO. And they're not really allowing them to do anything about it. It's no
Yeah,
longer
no.
about winning the game. It's about upsetting Los Hombres de PACO's mental for the third game.
Absolutely. And coming into game 3 right now, well, maybe they didn't do a good job of upsetting the mental because Mateos is going to get a goal at that 0-second mark. And I think that's, something to be proud of moving forward. A nice open net. Mateos just has to punch it forward, and then the meteors come falling in. That cage up on top of the roof right there, definitely not doing its job to protect these cars.
Yeah.
I digress, though. Vodafone Giants, they still look very in control of this series.
Absolutely. A lot of BM in chat as well. These teams, they're at each other. I mean, Los Hombres de PACO, they're not happy about it being 2-0 down against Vodafone Giants. And they absolutely want to take at least a game off of them. It's a matter of honor. It's a matter of proving that Vodafone Giants are not untouchable. And this is still a best of 5 series. It's 2-0, sure. But a reverse sweep is absolutely possible.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if any team was going to do it, it was going to be Los Hombres de Paco. The power of Nachito as well as Demensa. These are two very, very skilled players. And to his credit, by Mateos is almost outshining both of them in this one. I feel like if they start to reach their potential that I know they can, yeah, they
Mhm.
might start that reverse sweep. However, the Giants, they're already at their peak, it feels like. They're already playing at that top level, minus one or two little hiccups
Yeah.
every now and then, the odd double commit because, lack of trust in that one instance. But the thing that I'm impressed with is how quickly they always recover to those situations and be like, oh, okay, we messed up, but we know how to fix it immediately. So it's okay.
Yes.
We're still in control. Even when they're behind, they still feel like they're in control. And that is a scary thought for every team against them.
No, it absolutely is. I mean, the one downside that I see on Vodafone Giants that I feel like it's very exploitable is how fast they can clear the ball when they're playing on the defensive role. When they're trying to clear the ball on the defense, when they're trying to go for the boom and clears and go for the counterattack, Vodafone Giants feel a little bit more slow paced just because of the fact that they can't really reclaim control of the ball as fast as they could. They feel almost a little bit over tensed when it comes to that. And well, Los Hombres de Paco, they can absolutely abuse this. They just need, like you said, to be a little bit faster, to have a little bit more confidence in each other, and to basically line up their accuracy perfectly at the end of the day.
Yeah, I exactly that as we are getting ready to hopefully get back into these games shortly as well. A little bit of break before game number 3. Hopefully, these
Hey man,
breaks they sometimes
we've
happen.
been running the game without any problems. You have to see them coming
Yeah,
sometime.
absolutely. And this is the series for it to come through. And maybe that can buy Los Abros to Paco a little bit of time, to sort of reset and get back
Absolutely.
into this one. I still feel like the Giants, though, they're just looking so good in every facet of the game. I truly believe like this is currently the class of the league that we've been waiting to show up, waiting to wow us. Because while they had been winning, there hadn't been like any of these pure dominating performances like we're seeing today. And I don't know. This feels like the Giants living up to the hype. I'm just gonna straight up say it. All right, Giants, they're better than the Canyons. Canyons were okay, but they never hit that peak. Giants, they're hitting that peak in the Iberian League. I think
Hey,
this is the
listen,
strongest.
saying that they're hitting their peak means they can't get any better. I feel that they can get absolutely
Ooh,
better. So while
that
refrain from saying that this is their peak, I'll just say that this is the best that we've seen them so far.
absolutely. Well, here's a better way. They're hitting that glass ceiling. Let's see if they can break through it. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see what happens now. Third game match point for Vodafone Giants coming up against Los Hombres de Paco. Once again, Vodafone Giants in the blue with Los Hombres de Paco in the orange. Open up the scoreboard. No. Great save by Tox.
Yeah, that would have been an amazing opening goal, but I don't think Los Hombres de Paco are done yet. We're starting to see them come screaming down the pitch. A good little recovery right there by Mateos. He even gets the next touch as well. Zamua's going to have to play the corner. If he gets a third touch, this is going to open the door, but Demensa not quite fast enough on the shot.
No.
Great individual effort by Mateos, but just not quite enough to turn it into a 1-0 lead.
They need to get that ball a little bit higher when they're on the offense because those mid heights, Vodafone Giants thrive in them. They can absolutely collect the balls off of you in the counter play. Great shot by Mateo, trying to set up the ball for Los Hombres de PACO, but Tox is there to save it once again. Nachito goes airborne. Still, the ball is on the side of Los Hombres de PACO. They need to clear it out. The Mensa is doing his best. Keep it off the Vodafone Giants. Great contest. What a hit from Demensa.
I was waiting for Demensa to show up in this series. Not that he hasn't yet, but this is the Demensa that we remember from, the round robin stages of the tournament. Fantastic individual play, making two members of the Giants just look foolish that they could even touch the ball against them. 1-0 in favor of Los Hombres de PACO.
And the triple commit from Vodafone Giants. How do you do that? He used the wall to his favor, bounced it off, gets it in. I mean, that has to throw you off, even if just a little bit, on Vodafone Giants. Now, you can see that they're trying to slow up the pace just a tiny bit to try to keep up with Los Hombres de PACO and try to drag them down to their level, or drag them up their level, maybe. I don't know. But Los Hombres de PACO, they're trying to ride that momentum, and so far, it seems like they're the ones in control.
I have to admit, Los Hombres de PACO, they are playing a little bit more reckless than before. Like, they are pushing everyone far up forward. They're really trying to not allow the Giants any breathing room in this one, as Dementia isn't able to get the flick on the next touch. And I feel like this can be exploitable. It can be punished. Zamue looking for almost like a
Dementia!
The shot is going to be saved by Dementia in this instance.
Wow, okay. Game 3, Dementia, the man of the match. Look at him go. On the offense, on the defense.
Yeah, he is all over the pitch right now. He wants to bring this one back, that is for sure. Nashito as well, I think you're going to start seeing him rise. He's going to have to if they're going to want to hold on to this lead. Shot from by Mateos, that's going to hit the center of the net, and 2-0 in favor of Los Hombres de PACO.
I need to see the replay because I have no idea where that one came from. By Mateos, clean center field, mispositioning there by Vodafone Giants. I don't think they were looking at by Mateos at that point. They didn't expect him to come center field and get a shot off on that angle.
Absolutely not. It was a pass from Stake to Zamue down the middle, something that the Giants, love to do when clearing it down the field. They like to go down the middle, and this is the first time we've actually seen them get punished for it. By Mateos with the big brain right there, reading the play, gets the intercept and turns it into an immediate goal. And I want to see more teams do that against the Giants in the future, because that had been their bread and butter. And finally, someone takes it away from them.
Exactly. Now, Vodafone Giants, they feel like there's a slight desperation in the air. You have 2 minutes left. You need to score at least 2 goals to go into overtime. 3 if you want to skip that completely and take the clean sweep against Los Hombres de PACO. So they're trying to step up their game, and you're starting to feel the pressure building up here on the blue team.
Yeah, you can see it rising, that is for sure. And I expect to see more offensive pressure coming from them as well, especially when Nachito can't get a clean read on the ball. The pre-jump from Zamue, unfortunately, doesn't equate to the pinch for those Giants fans out there. Talks able to make the save from the Demensa attack. Let's see what By Mateos can set up right now. Instead, he gets challenged, and this could be an opening for the Giants.
Could be an opening. Demensa's there to save it once again. Good shot from Zamue, but the ball is still favorable to Vodafone Giants. Off the back, Stake sets it up. They're trying to set up the ball in the center field, but it's going a little bit too fast, and they can't really stop that momentum. Now it's by Mateos, 3-0 for Los Hombres de PACO. This could be their game.
Yeah, I think Los Hombres de PACO might be feeling it just now. And again, we were talking about before at the end of game number 2, how it was like, okay, let's see if the Giants can really crush the morale, but then you get that cheeky 0-second goal. And once again, Los Hombres de PACO recognize, okay, we're against, actual humans on that other side as well. We can take them. And we are seeing that confidence in spades right now from the orange side. Still some time left. Demo's coming through. This could be a dicey situation. Tox isn't going to go for it because there's going to be left for Stake. Going for a double touch, spikes it down, but does not have the angle, and Tox is unable to recover that goal.
All right, well, the ball is now favorable to Vodafone Giants once again after that counter play. They're trying to get at least 1 goal in to maybe start rolling them all out. Zamue, huge pinch, but not enough accuracy to actually get it inside. Still 42 seconds left on the clock. Zamue touches it in, gets the crossbar, or gets the sidebar in, or gets the touch on the sidebar, and Vodafone Giants still on the offense, off the wall. Demo in the back. Not really consequential for Vodafone Giants. Zamue gets the waterfall setup coming. Both Stake and Tox not in the position to receive the ball.
Los Hombres de PACO are going to take this game. Time is too little too late, it feels like, coming from the Vodafone Giants in this one. And a win well deserved. All right, reverse sweep talks. We can now start to bring them up, perhaps going for that 0-second goal, or at least a 10-second, or it's not going to be the case to mention by Mateos ramming into each other. But this
Oh,
more aggressive Los Hombres de PACO, it's leading to yet another goal. As Nachito is able to bang it through. This is what we wanted to see from them in games number 1 and 2. They are here to fight. They are here to compete. And this series just got way more interesting.
now one of two things can and will happen. Either A, Vodafone Giants have already given up on this game in particular, and they're already thinking about the next game, or B, they're really trying to get a clean sweep against Los Hombres de Paco, and this was just a blow in their mental. I want to think that it's option one, and Vodafone Giants are absolutely thinking, okay, we just saw what Los Hombres de Paco can do. We can absolutely play against this, because we saw at certain details of this game, Vodafone Giants felt a little bit of desperation coming through, especially at the second goal mark when Los Hombres de Paco were up 2-0. It felt like Vodafone Giants were desperate to try to make plays happen, and Los Hombres de Paco were shutting them down time and time again.
Again, I think the big play of that entire set right there, like in game 3, I should say, was that steal from by Mateos when the Giants went back to their wheelhouse, tried to do that clear straight down the middle, and it was just read like a book and scored against them. That kind of, I think, threw the Giants off a little bit. Now, the Giants still had opportunities. There are a couple very tight passes in the box when they were on offense to where the shots were just a little bit wide. And those are some sort of uncharacteristic mistakes that we've seen from the Giants thus far. I think if the Giants were more on point, the scoreline could have been a bit closer, but Giants were a little bit sloppier. Los Hombres de Paco, they were playing further up, so they were able to capitalize a bit more on that sloppy play. And that kind of results in that 4-0 scoreline. Now, if the Giants tighten themselves back up, I think we get a much more exciting game number 4. But if they continue to kind of play that sloppily, well, we could be seeing a game 5 situations. This reverse sweep, I was kind of joking about before, but now it looks like a serious possibility.
It looks like a possibility, and once again, right off the kickoff by Mateos, gets the ball rolling in favor of Los Hombres de Paco. It's still match point for Vodafone Giants, but Los Hombres de Paco are here to contest it. They're here to make a game and to give us a show. But let's see, Vodafone Giants get the first shot on goal. Dementa, huge save already to start off. The ball's back on the center field. Tox tries to reset the momentum, tries to get it in. Tox taken with another shot on goal, but another save, this time by Mateos.
Yeah, that was a scary situation, actually, because both the Mensa and Nachito pushed forward in a double commit, and neither of them hit the ball, but by Mateos, sitting back, playing patiently, was doing enough to stop it for now, and he also bought time for the defense to rotate back as well. Now, we haven't seen that clear just yet. Finally, we get the pass to Demento, who could be looking for a double, does it spike down? Nearly the goal of the series thus far. Unfortunately, top crossbar, too good at defense.
I don't even know if that was top crossbar. It was just the angle was a little bit awkward. Demensa, though, that's going to put a hamper here on the offense of Vodafone Giants as Tox waits to respawn. But still, they managed to keep the ball on the side of Los Hombres de Paco. Tox goes back for the reset. Gets the ball flying center field as Nachito sets it up for Steak. Steak sets it up for Tox, but Tox is cut off by Mateos.
Yeah, Nachito looking to punish straight away down the middle of the pitch. A bit of the Giants' old medicine as the defense is bumping into each other. Steak, as well as, I believe that was Zamue with that awkward bump. That said, it will only slow the counterattack, not stop it completely. Tox able to drive it across the pitch. Steak with the fall through, doesn't make the touch. That's an open net. Can Zamue get back to stop Mateos in time? The answer is yes, as he bumps Mateos off of the ball.
That was actually a good touch by Zambu. He didn't go for the ball itself. He went for by Mateos, and giving him a little bit more height was just enough to keep the ball away from the net and keep the ball rolling in favor of the Vodafone Giants. And look at this. They're still trying to slow down the pace of the game. They're still trying to set up the ball center field, but Los Hombres de Paco are already onto them. As soon as they see that ball being stalled near their net at center field, they immediately fly up to contest it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is turning into actually a similar game what I was expecting to see out of Giants versus EC4. Actually, just a lot of attack and counterattack, playing these big booming clears across the center of the pitch right now. Having one person cheat actually quite tight in case you know the 50-50 challenge is a bit of a dribbler, and one person staying back as that last line of defense. And eventually, that last line is going to have to break from one of these teams, and I expect it to be from that player that is cheating forward if that style of play does resume. At the moment, though, Tox might have the breakaway. There's the third man. He makes the next touch. Here's the tight play. It leads to a shot on target, but it was a little bit too slow, and the defense was able to recover.
The time being, but now we're back on the offense. By Mateos, it's a Cheeto! By Mateos sets up the ball, and the Cheeto does not waste this opportunity.
Yeah, and what happened was the third man was supposed to be Steak on the side of the Giants, but he thought he had more time. He pushes into the corner, and as I was saying, whichever team has that faster and more accurate cheat play, they're going to be the one who gets the goal. Well, guess what? Nachito was cheating right on through, punishes Steak, and it's 1-0 for Los Hombres de Paco.
And that was probably the longest we've seen so far throughout today on these playoffs, that we've seen with that a play happen without an actual goal being materialized. Now 1-0, 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. There's still a nice amount of time for Vodafone Giants to set up an offense and get the ball rolling in their favor. The Cheeto's there to stop it, prevent that ball from going too high, prevent Vodafone Giants comfort zone, and keep the ball nice and ground, or at least in mid levels. As Steak tries to go in for the clear. By Mateos is there as well to try to set up an offense, but Zamue, not the perfect touch, but one that Steak is there to receive.
Okay, this is actually starting to get very concerning for the Vodafone Giants because they didn't score a game, or didn't score a goal in game number 3, and they've still yet to score right now in game number 4 at all as well. So that's at least 9 minutes since their last goal. It's actually been more if you want to get a bit more specific with it. So this defense from Los Hombres de Paco, this style is definitely paying for them in spades right now, and it doesn't look like the Giants actually have that answer just yet. The middle of the pitch isn't working. The corner plays aren't working. They're going to have to get really creative. Let's see the bump. Let's see the demo. They have to mix things up.
They do. I mean, it's been working so far, but as soon as Los Hombres de Paco found a way to work around their game style, they're not really readapting to what's being presented to them right now. And it looks like Los Hombres de Paco are back on the offense. Sox managed to cut it off. Steak gets a demo on the Cheeto. It's like they heard you or something. With 20 seconds left on the clock, they want to avoid that 5th game as much as they can, but the more the time rolls, the more inevitable this 5th game seems.
That's an awkward touch, though, from Nachito. That's one that can be punished. Steak off the backboard shot coming from Tox, not able to get there in time. That may have been the last gasp as Nachito's going to throw it into the box. This ball will drop in the goal. As a matter of fact, Mateos actually gets another one in his mango car, and we are going to a game number 5.
A game number 5, we could be looking at a reverse sweep, 0-2 on the board. Once again, Los Hombres de Paco scoring in that last goal at the 1 second mark.
Yeah. I mean, that was absolutely insane. Los Hombres de Paco, 2 shutouts in a row against the Vodafone Giants. 2 in a row. If you want to get momentum for a reverse sweep, this is how you do it. And we have not yet seen a reverse sweep in the Iberian League. What a time for it to potentially happen, but in our winners final, to pull off the upset, to take yourself to the grand final. That would be insane. And they've done it by shutting down the middle of the pitch. The Vodafone Giants, they still haven't had that answer. Now, I saw towards the end, Talks in particular was starting to get tricky with it. We were starting to see fakes. We were starting to see the Giants try to bait the Paco defense to overcommit, but I was impressed that they didn't. By Mateos in particular has been playing such a patient game when on defense. He has kind of been that rock that the Giants have not been able to bait out. If By Mateos can continue to play at this level, I think Los Hombres de Paco may actually pull this one off.
And now there's 2 things on the line here. Point number 1 is the fact that we've never seen a reverse sweep, and you could be looking at the first reverse sweep of the Iberian League. Point number 2, we could be seeing at the undefeated Vodafone Giants suffer their first big defeat and on a playoff spot that has to stay a little bit. Now, game of 5 is on the board. 5 minutes to play, 0-0, and already Vodafone Giants got the ball rolling on the side of Los Hombres de Paco. Very aggressive so far, the orange team. with 2 demos to count for it, and already opening up 1-0.
Oh my goodness. And again, it looked like the Giants were just expecting Steak to be able to bang it through. No one was rotating back in defense in that situation. By the time Zamue realized what was happening, it was too little, too late. Demensa has himself that open net, and the Giants once more on the back foot. Again, 2 games they haven't scored a goal. This 1-0 scoreline might be the death blow. This could be that reverse sweep unless the Giants really get something going pretty much right now.
They're trying. I mean, Vodafone Giants are really trying to set up the offense, but it feels like Los Hombres de PACO are onto them. They're always there for the challenge. They're always there for the bump. Steak gets a demo on by Mateos. That's going to put a hamper there on the offense for Los Hombres de PACO, and it's going to allow some room to breathe for the Vodafone Giants to set up an offensive play.
It's trying to set it up. They're trying to get something, but this
Oh,
defense
there
has
it
been
is.
resolute. Finally, as we see the demo, and it's on Mateos as well. That's the target who I do feel they want to demo in this one. However, it's not turned into a goal just yet. Mateos has been able to recover. He has his boost. He puts that good first touch, but that does leave Nachito alone in the goal. He commits on a bad attempt, but again, too slow on the recovery means no goal to be found. If anything, Demensa now has a chance to set up his own team.
Now he's going to try to set it up, bumps into someone there, and gets bumped off into oblivion. Still, great setup from Los Hombres de PACO. They're not done with that play. Steak is on the wall. Trying to get the ball onto the side of Los Hombres de PACO. Going center field now. By Mateos is there to counter it. Gets bumped into the ceiling. And I think that the play is going to die off right then and there. Zamue is there for the pickup. Nachito counters it. Steak once again by Mateos. Keeps the ball nice and centered. Zamue airborne. Gets the ball once again on the side of Los Hombres de PACO. But they need bumps. They need demos in order to make organic plays flow.
How does Demensa recover that? He had lost complete control of his car and was able to bring it back and get a fantastic touch. He's keeping that offensive pressure on right now from Los Hombres de PACO. Whoa, hello, demo. You can't really see the ball. There we are. Nachito, chance, but Steak's going to disrupt it for now. A very tense situation right now for sure for the Giants as they've been unable to get sustained attacks on. This game has actually been dominated by Los Hombres de PACO, it feels like, and unfortunately, the Giants, they're running out of time. Great intercept by Mateos. Steak slows him down, but again, Mateos being the instigator for so many critical plays.
Demensa once again trying to go for the solo play. Great demo by Tox, taken out by Mateos, which is going to leave them some room to breathe, but they're not able to take control of the ball in order to set it up on the offense. Los Hombres de PACO are playing Vodafone Giants' game.
They are, as you see, a nice little dip away from Demensa, but I'm not sure Mateos was ready for that. So it actually was the Giants getting to the ball first until we saw a crazy positioning out of Nachito right there to sort of stop a Giants counterattack before it gets going. And now it's an open net. Nachito, 2-0, Los Hombres de PACO.
Why are you still trying to do this? But look, Zamue intentionally stalls out the ball center field, but the thing is, there's no one behind him to actually set up a shot on the goal.
That was a shot attempt. Zamue was actually trying to get the ball down to Steak. They were going for a pinch, but unfortunately, he was a little bit to the left, it looked like, and they're immediately punished. That was such a high-risk play at this stage of the game. Yes, you could have equalized it, but you could have done something a lot more sane, I feel like. They definitely got punished for that one and got punished hard, and now, once again, everyone's cheating forward. The Giants, they're losing their composure right now when they need it the most.
I feel like they've already lost their composure after game 3. I almost feels like that 4-0 defeat costed them a lot. It feels like they almost ran out of mental fuel here, and they aren't able to keep up the tempo that they did on the previous set.
No, Steak's shot is safe, but now we're starting to see this Giants offense come back alive past the Steak, but it's challenged by Nachito. Third man Talks, open net. That's going to be a goal. 1:06 remaining. Giants, they're not dead yet.
They're not dead yet, and this play almost, what it was, I was going to say it came from a place of overconfidence from Los Hombres de PACO, saying, okay, this game's already won, we have 1 minute, but no, it was actually really, really well set up by Zamue, and Steak by bumping at the 2 defenders that were on the box, and this is what Vodafone Giants need if they want to even get close to an overtime state.
Absolutely, but they've got to turn this back around right now. A goal could end them, and By Mateos puts the shot on target. Unfortunately, he's unable to ice the game just yet, so That could have been it. That could have been the winner's final. Instead, the Giants have one and maybe two more chances. Stake looking to throw the ball to the middle, but no one is there just yet. Going up high is Mateos. That's not a deep touch, but Demence's there to catch a pass. Shots on target. Zamue, a very clutch save, but not the touch they need. More pressure coming from Los Hombres de PACO. Can the Giants turn this one around with only 30 seconds to go?
They're absolutely trying, but once again, Nachito clean touches. Tox goes airborne. It looks clean. It looks clear. It's slow. It's on the crossbar. And Stake manages to tie the series.
Oh my goodness. Tox with that touch, but more importantly, Zamue with that bump. Opening the door. That was a clutch bump. That was a winner's final saving bump. And now with 19 seconds remaining, you have to know the next goal takes you to the grand final.
15 seconds left on the clock. We've seen crazier things happen, and so far the last two games have been plagued by Los Hombres de PACO scoring a goal at the 0-second mark. Could we have our first overtime of the playoffs? The ball is still in the air. 1 second. Tox doesn't let it touch the ground. He wants to get that last second goal with Zamue and Stay going for the pinch. But oh no, we're not going into overtime just as the Mensa keeps up the offense.
Yeah, Tox going to try and play it through the corner, tries to flick it down the pitch. Nachito gets a touch on it, and you can see by Mateos, he wanted nothing to do with it. He said, you know what, let's take this to overtime, and overtime we go. Winner's final, game 5, overtime. You can't ask for more. By Mateos nearly gets the kickoff goal, but it's stopped by Stake.
I do think that was a respectable decision by Mateos, unless they actually get the goal here. No, Nachito saves today. Alrighty then. We have an overtime in our hands.
Close. That was so close, and we're only 20 seconds in. 2 near goals. Are you kidding me? Here comes Tox, though, pushing down the pitch. Zamue is not going to get that pass as by Mateos is there, but he doesn't get the next touch. Stakes trying to punish. It's disrupted for now. Nachito gets the ball away from Tox, and Demenza lets that roll back into Nachito's possession. He's throwing it back to the blue side of the pitch.
I was gonna say that was an amazing decision by Mateos, just because he knows how powerful Vodafone Giants are on the airborne gameplay. They leave an opening, and we have our first grand finalist. Best of 5 series. A reverse sweep did not materialize, but Vodafone Giants, oh boy, did they sweat.
That 50-50 by Zamue that he won with the second touch in that showdown was absolutely critical to setting up that overtime goal. A fantastic effort from Los Hombres de PACO. I believed in that reverse sweep, but with 1:06 remaining after a 2.5 game scoreless slump, the Giants came back to life and they take game number 5 in the most dramatic fashion.
I mean, I am still appalled at what we just saw. We saw for two games in a row, we saw a set of Vodafone Giants that were completely lost. 0-4 and 0-2. Like, the expectations here were that Vodafone Giants would clear out the playoffs in a breeze. And I mean, this series, they showed a lot of weakness, a lot of exploitable weaknesses for whoever's going to face them in the grand final.
Yes, I think they definitely did. Los Hombres de PACO found their weakness. It was down the middle of the pitch. If we can shut that down, we will create more opportunities for themselves. And the Giants, they really struggled to find other avenues to get those goals. But when they found that avenue, it happened so fast. I'm still trying to bring it back together. You know what I mean? How did they just suddenly flip that switch again? And it came from a lot of individual plays. A lot of these late 50s just went in the way of the Giants, and those cheeky second, third touches, that's what opened the door, and they were that little bit faster. They were able to strike a little bit harder, better touches. Giants get it done.
They get it done, but I mean, how overtime last game? My mind is still processing
Just
exactly
think
what
what the grand final is going to bring tomorrow.
best of sevens. I mean,
Ooh,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. We still need to run through the losers bracket gauntlet. We have one game before we when we're gonna have one more game today. It's gonna be EC4
Yeah, we
versus,
start that gauntlet.
before against Supermoto. Whoever beats between these two teams is gonna face off those Hombres de PACO, who are hungry for payback.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard it from Mateos. They were gonna do their best because these matches mattered, and you felt that they mattered.
Absolutely, and by Mateos, I think he was playing the best on that Los Hombres de Paco side. I mean, his positioning was astounding, his defense resolute, he was getting those touches, he was challenging and winning most of his challenges. I honestly thought by Mateos was gonna carry this team back into it, but unfortunately, they did fall short, and fortunately for us, we also get to interview who, in my opinion, was the MVP actually of that Giants side. One Talks now joining us here. Welcome and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome, friends. So, tell us, you looked dominant in your first two games, but then all of a sudden, it feels like Los Hombres de Paco flipped the switch, and they found the kryptonite to your superpowers. You win 2 games without scoring a goal. Did you feel the pressure build up, or were you comfortable throughout the series? I mean, this is a weird question because maybe you did, maybe you didn't. How do you feel about it?
Um, well, I don't know. We started off strong with the first 2 games going our side, but for some reason we just didn't keep up the pressure and just started making silly mistakes. And I don't know. We just gave the ball away a lot for no reason. I think they they um they countered pretty well with their play style by just playing fast and like really together and ball chasey, which kind of threw us off. But we got the W as always, so we're fine.
The
Okay.
dub, it's all about the dubs, right? That's
Of
what you
course.
want at the end of the day, and you are now one series away from the biggest dub of them all and taking this Iberian league now. Kind of building off what AC said before, though, Los Hombres de Paco, they definitely made that one close and exciting. And one thing that I noticed was a lot of times in the past, you guys seem to have the middle of the pitch almost completely controlled your way, but they felt like the first team to really challenge you guys, and it felt like you struggled to find that answer. Now, you were saying it kind of came from, adjusting to their style a bit more. Was there anything you saw in particular that you were able to sort of like, okay, here's how we're going to score that goal, and here's how we're going to bring it back, or did it just sort of come naturally?
We actually, to be honest, we had no idea how to play against those guys because they were just all over the place. Like I don't know, you can't really figure out a play style to play against those guys because they'll be so random and so unpredictable that you just don't know what to do. So I don't know. To be honest, it could have gone either way in that game 5, but I don't know. We got a good comeback from 0-2, so we're happy with that.
I hear unpredictability. I hear not knowing how to play against them, and I'm just thinking, okay, so Los Hombres de Paco, they're on the same level of that first iteration now of Weed and Bots, but faster.
And
True.
better.
And, okay, and better. That's fine. So I mean, grand final is going to be best of 7.
Mhm.
Los Hombres de Paco, if they want to contest the victory here and the title of the Iberian League champions, they need to win 2 best of 7. Are you confident in coming into this grand finals if you're going up against Los Hombres de Paco, which after what we've seen today seems very likely? Or are you going in with a more laid back pace, maybe even considering dropping the first best of 7, or you just want to clean sweep it in the grand final?
I think we're just gonna try to 4-0 them and just get the dub because I don't know. It looked kind of close in that last series, so I really don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I
fair. That's
can't blame you for that one. I mean, that series super tight, and fortunately for you, though, if you do go up against Los Hombres de Paco, you probably won't have to run up against and Mendo, the MVP, moving forward as well. But now for that last question, I suppose, do you feel it is going to be Los Hombres de Paco again in that grand final, or do you think EC4 or Super Mode are going to make that losers bracket gauntlet run and see you tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. It's definitely gonna be Los Hombres de Paco for sure.
well,
All right. Yeah,
I mean,
that's confidence.
it is confidence and it is on par with our predictions. Thank you so much, Tox, for joining us. You get to take a break now for the rest of the day. Huge game you had against Los Angeles Paco, so congratulations on your 3-2 victory. We're gonna take a short break ourselves before we head into the last series of today, EC4 versus Super Mode. So you don't want to miss it. We'll be right back with you.